What's up, everyone? Aaron Nagler here, PackersNews.com. I'm here with Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Press-Gazette after a pretty wild night there, the first night of the 2018 NFL Draft. For the Packers going down, then coming back up, getting an extra first-round pick next year, and Jaire Alexander, the cornerback out of Louisville. What was your initial impression, Ryan?
Well, and losing their third-round pick for tomorrow, so with 10 day 3 picks, I imagine they might trade back up. But my initial reaction was that it was a roller coaster ride. I mean, it started even before 14, because if you followed the draft and what might occur and what the Packers might be looking at all, at number 9, when San Francisco took Mike McGlinchey, it became, okay, one of those top six defensive prospects that are the top tier are going to be there. And then Miami at 11 takes Minkah Fitzpatrick, the one guy that everyone kind of thought might be there. And so it was like, okay, what's going to happen? And when they're on the clock, sure enough, they're looking at Derwin James and Tremaine Edmonds, the safety and linebacker. 2 premier
prospects by all accounts.
2 guys that they brought in for visits. 2 guys they've studied extensively throughout the pre-draft process. There was no secret that they were very interested in them. And you thought at that point, well, surely they'll just take their pick. They'll get a premier prospect at 14, and they'll call it a night. Not so fast, because they trade back, and then when Tremaine Edmonds and Derwin James go 16-17, they trade right back up to 18, where Seattle was, and they take a guy that John Eric Sullivan said that they wanted all along, and Jaire Alexander. So it was a roller coaster ride. First you're thinking, okay, here they go, then they trade back, then they trade back up. They get an extra first-round pick in 2019, but it's moving forward, it's going to really depend on how Jaire Alexander plays.
I was just going to say, how do you think, obviously he's on the shorter side, he's a scrappy guy, he's physical at the line of scrimmage. What do you think he brings to this defense? I know you asked a question I thought was probably on everyone's mind as far as where he's going to play. I think they have to play him in the slot, don't they?
Well, they have to. When you look at the depth chart, they have Tramon Williams and Devon House to play outside opposite Kevin King. What he brings is 4.38. That's his 40 time. He's the fastest on the stopwatch. He's the fastest player on the Packers roster. Now, Brian Gutekunst had a great explanation of what they're looking for. They're obviously not looking for just sheer 40 times. They're looking for play speed, and he's going to have to prove that he can translate that 4.38 into really eye-popping speed on the field. And until he does, it's uncertain he will. But yeah, 4.38, that's elite speed. I mean, you're running 4.3s. What the other thing that's interesting to me with Jaire Alexander is he's 5'10 1/4, which it doesn't miss that minimum height requirement by months. But if you know anything about Packers, you know anything about Packers and cornerbacks since 1992 and Terrell Buckley, they have been very hesitant to draft a corner that was under 5'10 1/2. So that also, the speed, but also the lack of height. Both of those things stand out for good and maybe for bad. So it'll be very interesting to see how both of those translate at this level.
You know, last year we had all season to compare Watt and King. Now this year, you know, fans and media will all be looking and comparing, you know, Derwin James, Tremaine Edmonds, and now Jaire Alexander.
You're absolutely right. Going forward, that's going to be this draft, this first round, is what type of player does Tremaine Edmonds and what type of player does Derwin James become in this league? And what type of player does Jaire Alexander become? Those will be direct comparisons going forward.
There you go. All the latest from Lambeau Field. Make sure you're checking PackersNews.com for all the latest on the Packers. For Ryan, I'm Aaron, and we'll talk to you soon.